Supply chain problems are widespread across many infrastructure asset classes. The effects of pandemic disruption, economic recovery, and now armed conflict in Eastern Europe are bound to impact the ease with which cross-border supply chains function. And for the UK and the EU, this is without the added and perhaps currently obscured effects of Brexit. One industry sector where we are seeing this arise from a dispute perspective is in relation to solar energy projects. I'm Nicholas Peacock, an English lawyer based in London, specialising in cross-border dispute resolution, in particular within the wider technology sector. It is commonplace to blame any current tech-related supply chain crunch on semiconductor shortages, and this may be part of the problem, but is probably not the full explanation in the solar sector. The prices of polysilicon and solar glass have soared on the back of factory closures and now spiking demand. The sky-high price may be short-lived until new furnaces and capacity comes on stream in the coming year, but demand is unlikely to slow anytime soon. In September 2021, the Biden administration released a report from the Department of Energy with plans for the United States to get 40% of its electricity from solar energy by 2035, a huge jump from the 4% solar contributes today. So what are the legal issues we are seeing? As a dispute resolution lawyer, clients are asking me how to deal with breaches of contract, a failure to supply to the timeframe in long-term project agreements, a flat refusal to supply against prices that are simply out of the market on the current price of raw materials. Now, we all became familiar with force majeure notices during the COVID pandemic. A force majeure notice will typically suspend, or it may end, performance of obligations where a party is prevented from performing by events outside its control. What counts as events outside your control depends on how the contract is drafted. Generally, clauses will cite circumstances such as flood, drought, earthquake or other natural disaster, epidemic or pandemic, terrorist attack, civil commotion, riots, war, perhaps also sanctions or embargoes, which of course are coming increasingly to the fore as regards dealing with Russian and Belarusian counterparts. But a rise in raw materials is very unlikely to fall within the definition of force majeure. There may be relief provisions agreed under the contract, price renegotiation perhaps, but often the risk of rising costs will simply fall on the manufacturer or supplier. The important point is to study carefully the risk allocation under the contract or the contractual chain. We have been helping clients with that legal analysis, alongside the commercial analysis of what, practically, can be done. For cross-border projects, the contractual dispute resolution provision is likely to call for international arbitration, whether that is in London, Paris, Singapore, Hong Kong, or anywhere else. There may be value in bringing or threatening legal proceedings, but how will that alter the risk equation for the supplier and the customer? How long will proceedings take? What will they cost? And is it possible to shift that cost onto the losing party? Is an order for specific performance, that is an order compelling performance of a contractual obligation, is that a possibility? Or is it a risk? Is it a question of cannot supply, or more a question of who gets supplied and in what order? Because if it is a question of priorities, how do you move yourself up that list? Or, from the other side of the issue, how do you protect yourself from multiple customers all demanding to be supplied now? Faced with such multifaceted dispute scenarios, clients may also choose to bring in a neutral third party, an experienced mediator, to help them to balance the various competing interests and to find a negotiated solution as an alternative to, or time out from, formal litigation or arbitration. In this way, we are seeing and helping clients to take a pragmatic approach to these problems, perhaps choosing to maintain long-term relationships at the cost of short-term pain and in the expectation of, or promise of, improved terms in the future. Interesting times and interesting challenges. I hope these short comments have given some food for thought, and if we can help, do of course get in touch. Thank you very much.